Find a comfortable, relaxed posture. So make sure the back is straight and you're not leaning in the and your eyes are half closed at a 45-degree angle. And then just bring your attention to the in and out of your breath. And with each breath, just relax your body and mind. And now, from this quiet space, let's visualize in front of us the refuge field, Buddha Shakti, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And they are looking upon each one of us with immense kindness and unconditional love, just like a mother looks upon her only child. And surrounding us are the Bodhisattva field. On either side of us is our kind parents, mother on the left and father on the right. And additionally, we are accompanied by all other dear mother sentient beings, leaving none aside, and we are leading them in the practice. And the purpose of the practice is to manifest the Buddha nature, which is the ultimate source of happiness, by removing the two mental obscurations, afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. So let's recite the verses of refuge and bodhicitta while mentally invoking their profound meanings and associated experiences. So turn to page 4. Page 4. Taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, first in English and then in Tibetan. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my inclinations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chudam Soki Chodam La Jachu Badu Danyi Kyapsu Che Yagi Jinsong Yebe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Rupa Sho Sangye Chodam Soki Chodam La Jachu Badu Danyi Kyapsu Che Yagi Jinsong Yebe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Rupa Sho Sangye Chodam Soki Chodam La Jachu Badu Danyi Kyapsu Che Yagi Jinsong Yebe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Rupa Sho. Page 6, we are sensitive to dependent origination. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavadat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bade Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavadat Tesham chayo nirodha evam vade mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yapadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vade mahashramanaye swaha. Page 31. 3-1. The Heart Sutra Mantra. Yata Om Gate Gate Varagate Varasam Gate Bodhisvata Om Gate Gate Varagate Varasam Gate Bodhisvata Om Gate Gate Varagate Varasam Gate Bodhisvata.
Okay, we constantly hear about the sad news from different the corners. So we have the Mr. Edward Ho, 36 years old, and there's a little problem with him. And let's pray for him and pray for all the people who have who go through difficulties in their life, be it imposed from the environment, from other people, or through your own the situation. Let's pray for all of them. Let's pray, include them in our prayers. And meanwhile, yes, of course, finally, the point is that that we need to learn how to empathize with other people, and also how the people suffer just as you suffer because of your lack of information, lack of knowledge, and so forth. And likewise, people, the others also, they suffer because of the lack of knowledge. So let's pray that all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they bless all of us to give the knowledge so that we know how to manage our emotions so well, cleanse the mental defilements completely, and experience the total fearlessness, infinite happiness for yourself and for all the other beings. Let's pray for all of them. And the best of the prayers is actually trying your best to practice bodhicitta and wisdom. These two are the best of the prayers. Prayers meaning requesting that something should happen. What is that something that you are requesting? Is that they should have no problem. And the problems are rooted in ignorance, rooted in self-grasping ignorance. When self-centered attitude, when we practice this, when we practice the bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness, in the first place, we are removing these two mental defilements, so that what you ask the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bestow upon us, this actually being materialized within us. And then with that experience, you can share with other people. And in your prayers also, that it's going to be much more effective, beneficial, if you realize this within yourself. Okay, with this in mind, let's continue our reading from where we left this morning. Okay, I think we are on 30, is it? 31. Okay. So let's say that we talked about the emptiness in the form of the middle way. And the middle way is what? a way which is free from the two extremes, extreme of absolutism and extreme of nihilism. And extreme of absolutism is where, okay, what's the difference between the two? Extreme of holding on to the extreme of absolutism and holding on to the extreme of nihilism. What's the difference? Raise hands. Yes. Little.
Absolutism is that everything that I see exists as it is, and nihilism is that nothing exists.
Okay, how many of you precisely understood my question? How many you heard my question? Understood meaning heard meaning you heard my question well. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Michael, tell me. Michael, yes. Michael, tell me.
But let's see. No.
What's the difference between?
Nihilism and no. Right?
Okay, I will not wait.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Madhavji.
So what's the difference between nihilism and extreme?
No.
So all three of you said the same thing. So this is where you should have an amazing ear. Amazing ear to hear what the other person's saying. You're getting it? Extremely refined detector. Right? Even with a very slight change, you should be able to see that, detect it. Yes, Tenzin Shugila.
What is the difference between
By the way, who is Tenzin Shugi?
the extreme?
Who is Tenzin Shugi?
I forgot her name. Okay, then she tell me. Yes.
What is the difference between holding on to the extreme of nihilism and optimism?
Perfect, amazing. You're getting to see a difference? You see a difference between these two questions? What's the difference between nihilism and absolutism versus what's the difference between the holding on to the nihilism and holding on to absolutism? Do you see a difference? One is holding on to, for example, what's the difference from flower and the mug? What's the difference of holding onto the flower and holding to the mug? There's a difference. Holding meaning the subject. Flower and the mug means the object. You're getting it? I'm not talking about the object. I'm talking about the subject. Holding. You're getting it? This is what Shugila got it correctly. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Good. So the difference between the holding onto absolutism and holding onto nihilism. And that for your information that while we just keep moving so fast, we also need to know the other things. For example, like the two extremes, there are many other labels also. Not only the extreme of absolutism and extreme of nihilism, there are other labels such as extreme of existence and extreme of non-existence. Vibeta, mebeta. Extreme of existence, which is synonymous with extreme of absolutism. And extreme of nihilism and extreme of non-existence, these two are synonymous. Again more, extreme of permanence and extreme of impermanence. Again, this is another label. There are many labels for the two extremes. Extreme of absolutism versus nihilism, extreme of existence versus non-existence, extreme of permanence versus impermanence. You getting it? When I say extreme of permanence and impermanence, don't think that it's talking about permanence and impermanence in general. Extreme. You getting it? For example, say kind, extreme kind. Bad, extreme bad. Bad and extreme bad, there's a difference. You getting it? Anybody can be bad, but extreme bad is really extreme, really bad. Okay, so these are the vocabularies that we need to remember. You getting it? Okay, with this in mind, and let's say that you tell me, say, rabbit does not have a horn. If I say horn of a rabbit exists, that falls on the extreme of nihilism or absolutism. Absolutism. How many agree? I have no comment. How many agree? Dejan are saying that they believe that the horn of a rabbit exists. This is the extreme of absolutism. How many agree with Dejan La? Raise hands. Raise hands. How many don't agree with Dejan La? Or how many confused? Okay, so in the first place, we need to know what is meant by holding on to the extreme of absolutism. Holding on to the extreme of absolutism is exaggerating what is non-existent as existent. And holding on to nihilism is denigrating what exists as non-existent. Let me repeat it. Holding on to the extreme of absolutism is exaggerating what is non-existent as existent. For example, horn of a rabbit does not exist. And if we exaggerate that it does exist, this is absolutism, extreme of absolutism. What Dejinda said is correct. Holding on to the absolutism, extreme absolutism is the exaggerating what is non-existent as existent. Holding on to nihilism is denigrating meaning what is exists, you said it does not exist. Lower karma doesn't exist. This is denigration. Denigrating what is existent as non-existent. Denigrating what is existent as non-existent is holding on to the nihilism, the view of nihilism, the view of the absolutism. Okay, you got it? Okay, now with this mind, say the belief that the horn of a rabbit exists. Horn of a rabbit does not exist, right? And don't argue with me, right? Some scientists, they can make like this and so forth, you know. Okay, so just say there's no horn of a rabbit. And somebody says, oh, yeah, this horn of a rabbit does exist. That is the extreme of the view of absolutism or the view of nihilism. The view of absolutism. You're going to be kind. When I give you full, give me full back. I said view of absolutism. You say absolutism. You're getting view of absolutism. Say it complete. And you'll build a habit. That way, all these, even the words coming out is because of the thought process. The words reflect your thought process. When the words are complete means your thought process is complete. So this is how your articulation, say, seeing what other person's saying, the distinguishing, the fine distinctions you can detect so easily. So these are the skills that we have to develop now. Horn of, say, ox. Horn of an ox does not exist. Absolutism, the view of absolutism or the view of nihilism?
View of nihilism.
View of nihilism. Why? Because the horn of an ox does exist and you denigrate it to be existent. That is the view of nihilism. Very good. Okay. So now 31, which reads on the 30 says that the horn of a rabbit, holding on to the horn of a rabbit is this is absolutism. Any horns that are 30, any horns they are on the rabbit's head are just imputed. It does not exist. And if you impute it, you exaggerate what is non-existent as existent. This is absolutism. And are just imputed and do not exist. Just so all phenomena as well are just imputed and do not exist. They don't exist objectively, and you view them as objectively real. This is view of, okay, you view things as objectively real. A view of nihilism, a view of absolutism, because you're exaggerating what is not objectively real as objectively real. You're exaggerating. This is the absolutism. Now, okay, say now going a little subtler. 31. Also, the horns of an ox, does it exist? Not. Okay. So also the horns of an ox do not exist as having the nature of particles, meaning that it does not exist objectively. It does not exist objectively. What does not exist objectively, you see that is objectively real. Again, this is absolutism. And having the nature of the particles is nothing but made of particles, right? Horn of ox is made of particles, yes. Like the flower made of particles, yes. And the flower On the objective level, it's just particles. There's no flower in the air. Concept of flower dissolves. Likewise, the horn of an ox, it does exist, but on the ultimate analysis, on the level of ultimate analysis, it doesn't make any sense. It dissolves. It's just nothing but a bunch of atoms. You agree? Okay. Third one, also the horns of an ox do not exist as having the nature of particles. So first, horn of a rabbit does not exist. If you believe that it exists, this is absolutism. Now, horn of an ox, it exists, but if you believe it exists objectively, this is also absolutism. You're getting it? So which is subtler to understand? They say horn of a rabbit does not exist. Horn of an ox does not exist objectively. Which is subtler? Arkaji? Horn of a rabbit does not exist.
Not exist is higher.
Okay, horn of a rabbit does not exist.
That's and objectively exists. Does not objectively exist.
And horn of the ox does not exist objectively. Which is subtler?
Subtler in the sense does not exist is higher.
Does not exist objectively. Which is easier to understand.
So
Say, okay, say, I can see that you are from very technical IT, thing. Then,
investment banking.
yeah, but there's the banking system is very complicated. Yes. Okay. So, which is more difficult to understand? The horn of a rabbit does not exist. Horn of an ox does not exist objectively, which is more difficult to understand.
So if you negate does not exist, you're automatically negating objectively existence.
Okay. If you negate objective existence, you do not negate the existence.
So it's hard, it's not easy.
Okay, Arkaji, thank you. Anyone else? Raise hands. Which is more difficult to realize? Okay. Raise hands. Okay, Edith. Second one, which is? The horn of the ox doesn't exist
I
objectively.
don't understand why first one, that the rabbit doesn't have horns, why is it absolutism? Is it not the kind of illusion?
No, the point is that if you say horn of a rabbit exists, yes, okay, exists, then it is absolutism. The view is absolute because it doesn't exist and you are exaggerating it. What you exaggerate as non-existent, that is known as the view of absolutism. Yes. Because horn of it does not exist, and if you say it exists, you are exaggerating it.
I thought that believing that the ox have horns in ultimate reality is an absolutism, an exaggeration of what.
Okay, did you understand what I said? Horn of a rabbit is not the horn of an ox.
One objectively real, one is not exist.
No, nothing is subjectively real. Horn of a rabbit does not exist in the first place, right? If you say it does exist, it is absolutism. It is exaggeration. Good. Okay. Yes, Dishan, tell me, which is more difficult to understand?
The horn of an ox does not exist objectively.
How many agree with Dishan? Raise hands. Horn of an ox does not exist objectively is more difficult than?
The horn of a rabbit does exist.
More difficult than understanding horn of a rabbit does exist. Oh, okay. So we can. Okay. Horn of an ox does not exist objectively is more difficult to understand in comparison with understanding the horn of a rabbit not existing. Right? You agree? Can't you agree? Good. Okay, so now let's go further. So in a way, what is this text, the author, Arya Nagarjuna, is teaching us, first explaining how you can exaggerate on a gross level. And how do you know that exaggeration is exaggeration? So be free from this. The horn of a rabbit exists. It's very gross. It does not exist. We all know that. It's very gross. We exaggerate that it does exist. It's very gross. I think yes, good. Then the next followed by horn of a ox. It does exist, and seeing that as existing objectively, that is exaggeration or not? Hey,
Yes.
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 viewing the horse of the what horn of an ox existing objectively, is it the view of absolutism or not?
It is.
Yes.
Why?
Because
It exaggerates.
the quality.
It exaggerates the quality. Exaggerate quality in ways that horn of the ox does not exist objectively. It exaggerates the objectivity on the horn of the ox, right? So this is absolutism. So therefore first you understand, oh yes, that's true. Horn of a rabbit, if we exaggerate that is wrong. It is purely mental construct. Yes. Then horn of an ox existing objectively, that's also mental construct. It's all coming from the mind. You're getting it? So that way, use the gross understanding and then take us to the subtle understanding. Okay, good. 31. Also, the horn of an ox do not exist as having the nature of do not exist objectively as having the nature of particles. It's just the particles. There's no objective, say the horn of ox there was there. Just as before, so is after. Meaning that, say, horn of ox is you see today, and then we say that it doesn't exist objectively, or today or yesterday. Horn of there's an ox with a horn the last 10 years. You getting it? So today the horn that you are seeing of the ox, it is empty of objective existence. Yes, and this horn is or was empty of objective existence since when? Only today or since? So since yesterday also. You're getting it? So it says that just as before means yesterday and before, it was empty of objective existence. So it is after, even later also, is going to be empty of objective existence. What is to be taught there? What is to be taught there when subjective ultimate analysis? What is to be taught there as the horn of an ox? 32. Since things dependent originate, and independence too will cease. So arising, ceasing, it all happens dependently. You agree? You agree? You studied? We studied somewhere? We studied somewhere? Subaji? Right? We studied it? Okay. Maho. Right? We studied somewhere? When?
Yesterday we studied again, today this morning again.
Wow. Very precise. Thank you. Good. Okay, we studied it. So it says 32. Since things dependent originate, and independence too will cease. So in dependent origination, there's no ceasing, there's no arising. I think we saw this somewhere. Ashmi, did we see this?
So one of the prayers.
Somewhere, one of the prayers, yes. Where? Anyone precise? Anyone precise? Okay, Maho.
Page 4.
Page 4, very precise. Ashwin, Maho is saying that we should be precise, right? One of the prayers in the world. Don't say in the world, it's somewhere in the world, right? Let's say put somewhere in Thosamling in the book and page 4. Okay, thank you, Maho. Maho.
Maho. Like Emaho, but
So you are a good teacher. Thank you. Okay.
The 32. Since things dependent originate, independence too will cease. If not even one of them exists objectively, how can the childish think of them? Meaning that, say, arising and ceasing, right? Let's say that, now my very complicated neighbor is coming, arising, right? My family member is leaving, ceasing. Bad thing is arising, good thing is ceasing. You feel so mentally disturbed. So you see them as objectively real. So when one of them is not objectively real, arising or ceasing, then how can you say both exist as object real? When arising doesn't exist object real, then ceasing cannot exist object real. Okay, 33, sorry. No. Okay. If not one of them exists, how can the childish think of them? Think of them meaning think of both to be existing objectively. 33. How the dharmas of the Sugata meaning the Buddha. The Sugata is another epithet of the Buddha. The Sugata meaning the one who has gone to the perfect bliss of purity. One who has gone to the bliss of the purity. This is the meaning of Sugata. How the dharmas of the Sugata are established as the very middle is through the ox and the rabbit horn examples. Say, if you believe that the horn of a rabbit to be existing, it is, hey, believing the horn of a rabbit to be existing truly is a view of absolutism. And likewise, if you say that the horn of an ox does not exist at all, this is nihilism. So with these two examples, we see that the teachings of the Buddha, teachings of Sugata, this is the middle way, which means that say avoid the two extremes, you follow the middle way. So you remember, emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origination equals the middle way, right? Okay, so when you know that the dependent origination removes the two extremes, so that makes you to follow the middle way. This is how one understands emptiness with the help of these examples, many examples, the horns of a rabbit and horns of an ox. 34. The forms of the sun, the moon, and the stars are seen as reflections upon water within a container that is pure, just so the characteristics are complete. For example, say the reflection of a moon in the water, or reflection sun in the water, reflection stars in the water. So do you know a story of 500 monkeys? They drowned in the river. You know the story? No? Come on, somebody, you know the story? What is the story? Quickly, you want to share? Okay. So the say, Tanish, you know the story. You don't know the story. Okay, young people, they should know the story. These young people, they don't know the story. So these are stories we have to know. You're getting it? Not other things. No, these young people are very different. That's amazing. Who will come young at this age for this, teachings? They see them very boring, right? So these people, they come. It's amazing, right? So we are trying to convert the converted, right? These young people, they're all not converted, right? Converted into good. And we're talking, you are not doing this, TikTok. Okay, so they're already good, don't worry. Okay, so we have to know the stories. So these stories have a great message. It says that there was a group of 500 monkeys, and one monkey saw the reflection of the moon in the river. Reflection of the moon, and the monkey knows that this was a river, and the monkey thought that the poor moon fell in the river, right? So he was going to save the moon. You get it? That's nice, compassionate. So trying to save the moon, and then because he could not do it alone. So the second monkey was holding the first monkey. Third monkey was holding the second monkey. So like this, all the monkeys, they were holding on to each other, and finally the last monkey, he hold grip of the tree. When he lost a grip, All the monkeys fell in the water. You're getting it? So why this monkey died? Because in order to save the reflection of the moon. And but it's just a reflection. Why they're worried about this reflection? Huh? Why they're worried about this reflection? It's just a reflection. What ignorance? I can hear somebody, they extremely nice way of, uttering without the movement of the lips. Right? I cannot identify who that is. Okay, raise hand. It's not the male voice. I can hear it. Okay, yes, Paramji.
Ignorance, that's not the reality, that's the illusion.
Exactly. The monkey has the ignorance, thinking that the reflection moon is a moon which he saw earlier in the sky. Right? He thought that this moon in the sky fell, seeing the reflection of the moon as a real what? It's a real moon, right? And how many of you, when you enjoy cheesecake, you see cheesecake is real, objectively real? Raise hands. We're all like monkeys. You're getting it? We're all like these monkeys. You're getting it, right? So seeing it as object real, it's not object real. It's not object real. So what the reality is that what is this reflection? What is that moon? It's not a real moon. It's just a reflection created by dependence on many factors. Like what? Moon up there, rays coming, water there, right? And the distance. All these factors coming together, dependence on these factors, then the reflection moon is formed in the river. You agree? So likewise, what is this cheesecake? It's just a bunch of atoms. It's just a bunch of atoms, and you are hungry, and you have brought this desire from the past imprints, all combined together. You see this as a nice cheesecake. What is this nice? It's just a bunch of atoms. You're getting it? So it's like the reflection in the mirror. Reflection in the reflection of the moon in the water. There's no difference. So therefore, this again example given in order for us to understand how to relate this with the real life things. While see things objectively real, they are actually illusion-like. They are actually a reflection of the moon in the water. 34. The forms of the sun and the moon and the stars are seen as reflections upon water. On the basis of what? But depends on many factors within the container that is pure. So, what is the reflection? This is just when these factors are intact, then the reflections form. Just so the characteristics are complete. This is how the reflection moon is complete. There's nothing. If you go there in the water, you will never find the moon, solid moon there. But you see it as a moon. 35. Virtuous throughout, beginning, middle, and end, undeceiving and so steady. Wow, that's amazing. Say, if you truly feel this, the emptiness, for example, like say yourself, say like the sound of a clap, which is a metaphor for miseries, tension, stress, and so forth. So for this sound of clap of the miseries to arise, the two hands should come together. And the one hand symbolic of external factors, and the other hand is symbolic of internal factors. And internal factors primarily will relate to suffering, that is self-grasping ignorance. It is the air. So the self-grasping ignorance is, for example, say like, okay, the one is self-grasping, and I am hurt, I am injured, I am sad. So this I, the self is there, and he made me sad, she made me sad, the weather made me sad, the pollution made me sad, and so forth. External factors, internal, I am injured, I am hurt. Okay, so this I. So when you think of the emptiness of the self, of course, you not just thinking, but to get a proper understanding. Very systematic learning, keep learning more. And it's very strange, it's a very funny experience. Emptiness. Okay, Kailash, just hold on your question. Just listen to this, and then I'll take a question. emptiness experience, say with the same study, you get some understanding. Then keep studying, keep reflecting, keep meditating. Your understanding becomes deeper, deeper, deeper. And the words are same. Later on, you read Arya Nagarjuna's text, the Buddhist, the Arya Nagarjuna's text, the same words which you have read 100 times in the past. Today you read is very different. It gives a very different meaning because your realization, as your realization deepens, what is being taught there by these enlightened masters, these appear very different. You're getting it? They appear so profound. Okay, so with this, when the experience comes, let's say that now you go too deep in what we call as ultimate analysis of yourself, the self simply dissolves, which you earlier saw as object real is seen to be deceptive. It is not there as object real. So just stay there in the experience of the emptiness. So we talk about 3 times. For example, say, oh, in the past, Arya Nagarjuna in the past, as today, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In the future, maybe some good teachers will come in the future. And so like there's a very past, very long past, future, very long future, right? And the present, so my time, the last 56 years. So young ones who will say last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and so forth. So there, we see that there's something outside there as object real in time, long past, long future, and the present 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay, how many get that impression? Raise hands. Right? This is the world, universe. In the past, say the Buddha appeared, then the Socrates, I think about like 3,000 years, I'm not too sure. Socrates, and then the kings, Alexander, what is that? Genghis Khan, these kings, and then gradually Hitler, and today, and then future, what will happen? Okay, so when you think like this is universe, so objective real. Then when you see the emptiness of the time, what we say past. What is past? What is long past? It's nothing but made of temporal segments. Okay, by the way, somebody should remind me about the emptiness of the mind. You're getting it? Okay, so the temporal segments. So with this, when you see that with temporal segments, there's nothing as a long past. It's not true. It simply dissolves. Then the long future is also nothing but made of temporal segments, and you create a sense of long future. For example, like the dots, just the dots, and from distance you see as the Mona Lisa picture. You're getting it? So it's just nothing but dots. Where's the picture? It's not really there. So from this, when the objective appearance of the objective long past, objective long future, and the objective present, when they dissolve to see that nothing really exists objective, then the sense of the universe as objective real dissolves. Okay. So from this, we say that the beginning is also nothing but the beginning, the middle, now, and the end, let's say future. All these 3 things, they're of the same taste, because on the ultimate level, there's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. These are all the same taste. So it says, what is it? Okay, 35. The virtuous throughout beginning, middle, and end. So this experience of the emptiness. So there, what happens? Your mind, okay, do you agree with me? That when you experience emptiness, can you imagine? Okay, let me give you a very simple example. Say, we all came to Thosamling. For what? For what? Paramji, tell me. Why did you come to Thosamling?
To attend the retreat.
Why to attend? Why to attend retreat? What were you expecting?
Wanted to learn something.
To learn something, to learn what?
To learn how to manage your emotions. To learn how to manage emotions. So how many of you sometimes they carried away by anger, short temper?
Right. Let me see.
Oh, Rimbila, I can't imagine you. Anyone else? Tanish, I cannot imagine. Anyone else? Raise hands. Carl, I cannot imagine. Raise hands. Joel, look. Look, Joel. There's a gleaming face, and he's saying, I'm short-tempered. No, I cannot imagine that. But others who I did not mention in name doesn't mean that I expect you. This is not my response. You're getting this is not my indication. So what I'm saying is that let's say that you came here, okay, I'm tired of this and that and so forth. Now I like to run a little bit and to go to something which is so where you cannot hear any car sound. You cannot hear the sound of a car. This is amazing. How many heard car sound by being here? No, it is amazing. Amazing. I pray that this place will remain like this for long. This beautiful place. Amazing. But we don't hear the sound of car. It's beautiful. Amazing. My place in Delhi. It really teaches me patience. Amazing. I'm meditating like this. Beep, 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 beep. And people saying, then the people selling this, that, shouting, right? Nariyal pani, nariyal pani. Right? And then the wedding, dang, 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 right? And I don't know who is actually listening to this music. Ding, 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 ding. Who's enjoying it? Everybody's disturbed. And who's enjoying it, right? Nobody's enjoying it. Even the person who pays, hired these people. They're not enjoying this. And still they're hiring and paying. Oh, all right. It's amazing. Yes, it's amazing. So imagine what I was doing. Then I use an earplug. Earplug, I don't know where it is made from. It's a high quality earplug. I just put it there. But inside, everything is blocked, and that is beautiful. No sound pollution. Then it's as well like you are in Himalaya, right? Absolutely, the pin drop silence. You will feel it. And then you can hear the inner chat. You know, when the absolutely peaceful, no sound, then you hear the buzzing sound in the ears. You know that? How many of you have that experience? When you go to a very remote, peaceful place, you could hear the buzzing of Z. You can hear that. Not only that, then somewhere you will see. How many of you have that experience? Raise your hands. Okay, wonderful, amazing. You have that experience. Okay, so why I said it? Okay, so the point is that let's say that you see the emptiness of yourself, right? Come to something, and then this. So when you do that, okay, now I'm a peace of mind. My neighbor is very complicated. My husband is very complicated. My wife is very complicated. Child is very complicated. I'm tired. You know, I come to something, right? Okay, wow. Finally, I can breathe. And the person also comes. Then the complicated person comes by you, comes past by you. The person didn't know that you are here. The person also came tired of you. The person also came here for the peace of mind. And you see the person, right? What happens instantly? The peace of mind is disrupted. Then heart starts to palpitate. Tick, 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 right? You're getting it? Okay. Then you checked with Ven Patranla. Do you know this person came for the retreat? She said, not really. I'm not too sure. Check with Puja. Then go to Puja. Is it? Oh no, he's not from the retreat. He just came for a visit. Oh, unlucky, right? And then when you see the person leaves, then what happens? Your mind is again this palpitation. It subsides, right? So look, what is happening? You see the object, and the object did not do anything. The person did not even know your presence here, right? You are in the Gomba here, and from the door you can see that person. Person cannot see you, right? And your heart palpitates. And after knowing that the person will leave in 1 hour, then your heart palpitation stops. You're getting it? What is happening? What is happening is that when you see the person, your peace is disrupted. You getting it? Your peace is disrupted. But if you see the emptiness of the person dissolves. And this emptiness of person holds true when? Only today or tomorrow or yesterday? In all three times. So where your heart palpitates, what makes your heart palpitation to stop is in the person objective real. And that reality that you are seeing is true in the past, present, future, beginning, middle, and all three states. Your mind, the palpitation stops, anger stops. Anger stops is virtue, non-virtue. Is virtue. So this state of the experience is virtue in the past, with experience emptiness. With experience emptiness today is virtue. With emptiness in the future is virtue. So virtue of the past, present, all three times. This experience, if you realize it, you are at all times virtuous. Okay, and steady. This experience, how steady it is. Emptiness of the objective existence. How steady it is, how stable it is. Right? The person says, hey, yeah, again you are here. Then emptiness dissolves. But still the person is empty of objective existence. What is that? Still it is. So the person has been existing as empty in that form all throughout. So therefore it is virtuous all three times, plus that it is very steady at all times. Experience emptiness, or the emptiness per se, is very steady at all times. Okay. So it says, virtuous throughout the beginning, 35. Virtuous throughout beginning, middle, and end. Undeceiving. That reality is undeceiving. This is reality, ultimate reality. And so steady. What's like that is just a lack of self. So there, the intrinsic self is empty. Objectively, there's nothing to identify self. Because of this, when the self is empty on the ultimate level, so on the ultimate level, where is there's a sense of I and mine? All these complications arise because of I and mine. When you see these things as empty, then your virtues become very stable. 36. Now this is another example. About water at the time of spring. What we say is that it is warm. You're getting it? Same water. How many of you have that experience? Now younger ones may not have that experience. Yes? Say the same water in the spring. In the spring, it says, okay, what is that? Okay, about the water at the time of the spring. Let's say let's say in the spring or summer, the water becomes warm. Then in the winter, it becomes cold. You're getting it? So there's change happening. What is that change? Is that the true nature of the water or not? The change is not the true nature. True nature of the water is very stable. But depending on the factors, depending on various factors, then the nature of the water, warm, cold, it changes depending on the various. The true nature, independent, right? Say in the eyes of the ultimate analysis, then you see the true nature. So dependent origination is seen by the conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. Dependent origination is seen by the conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. For example, let's say, oh, now the weather is so hot, you can take shower directly without having to put on the geyser. Water is warm, right? In the winter, okay, so I took the shower in the summer directly from the tap water. And now I can take it. Is this water warm? No. Now it's winter, but dependence on the weather. Now the water has become cold. So this dependent origination operating on what level? Conventional level or ultimate level? Conventional level. So that is on the objective level. What is cold and hot? No. Okay. So it's simply the play of the dependent origination. 36. About water at the time of spring. It's only 12:27. Is it Kama Yoga or somebody? Pooja, tell me.
From the kitchen.
Kitchen staff, not the Kama Yoga people. Okay. 36. Or maybe you have told the kitchen staff. to ring little, to ring the bell a little early, huh? Bhumika, you did not, huh? Maybe I Cheng. Are you sure? Okay. Oh, Thamale will not say this. Thamale, I trust. These three girls, I'm not too sure. Okay. 36. About water at the time of spring or around that time when the planet Earth becomes warmer, or not planet Earth, your part of the planet Earth is warmer. What we say is that it is warm. Of the very same thing, when it is chilly in the winter, we just say that it is cold. 37. So likewise, your mind, true nature of the mind, covered by the web of the afflictions. Your mind is covered by the afflictions, but depends on these. Thank you. But depends on these, it is called sentient being. How many of us we are sentient beings? Present. So why we are sentient being? Because the true nature of the mind is obscured by the affliction. So we are referred to as sentient beings. Like the same water under exposure of environmental temperature, it is called as hot water, warm water. The same water with the environment cold, you say this is cold water. Likewise, the same Buddha nature afflicted by the ignorance, afflictions, we are called as sentient beings. Same Buddha nature, afflictions are gone, you are called as Buddha. You getting it? Okay. Covered by the web of the afflictions, it is called sentient being. Once it is free from the affliction, when afflictions are removed, it is not only afflictions, all the mental defilements. When the mental defilements are removed, that Buddha nature is referred to as a Buddha. Independence upon I. Okay, now this is a very important point. Say how we see that, for example, this very beautiful flowers. I can see that. Okay, so what we say is that when we do see things which would like stir your emotions, like beautiful flowers or like the taste, touch, smell, whatever, when your emotions are stirred a little bit, in whatever way, positive, negative, in whatever way, when it happens, just give yourself a little time. Don't be like a dog and the meat. You're getting it? Give yourself a little time. Don't be what do you call it? This is not as impulsive. Let us stay away from being impulsive. Don't be impulsive, just wow. Instead of that, just give yourself a little time. And sometimes we also have a very bad habit. We have to change this habit if we do have. I deliberately try to stay away from this habit. For example, like saying that somebody, let's say, give you a chocolate. You are the best person in this world. You are the best person, right? And same person the next day, I'm sorry, the chocolate is meant for somebody else. You are the worst person, right? I've never seen such a bad person in my life, right? Extreme. Just stay away from this. When somebody gives you something, you appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't go to extreme of saying that. Don't exaggerate that you are the best person, right? Same, something, little disagreement, you are the worst person. So this actually is not only not good for the other person, actually is not good for yourself. Your mental turbulence, this is known as, what is that? Polar disorder. The bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder. You're getting it? It can take you closer towards bipolar disorder. You're getting it? So extreme. So you can control the bipolar disorder. Even if you have a tinge of this, a little bit of a stain of this bipolar disorder, we can just deliberately try to stop over exaggeration. Stop it. Appreciate when something is, when you disagree with somebody else, don't go to extreme. This is terribly bad, this worst thing, I've never seen such a person. Instead of that, okay, that's agreeable. So say, I also behave like this. Always think like this. Put yourself in the other's shoes. Put the other person in your shoes also. You're getting it? I also behave like this when the situation arises. One time, what happened was that it was in Bodhgaya when I think when Bajrang was the director. You remember Venerable? Okay, and there's one Vietnamese family, and the one monk who brought the family to be introduced to me. And then there was a girl, the daughter. The daughter was like age, I think 17 or 18, or 18 or 19. And then the daughter and the son. The son was younger. And I asked, what are you doing? Are you still in school, college? And then she said, I finished my school, get to college. And then I said, then what's your plan, right? And then she became a little hesitant, a little nervous, because on maybe in her college she failed. Now she couldn't go any further, right? She wants to do something big, but failed somewhere. And then I think the father, mother, or the monk explained to me that she failed in this. And then now she's exposed, right? That she failed, her failure was exposed. Then I told her, I not her directly, I told the family, right? Looking at the monk, yes, that's very true. When I was in school, right, I always failed in Hindi, right? I always failed in Hindi. You wouldn't believe. Before the exam, 1 week, I put all my effort in Hindi. I do not even learn the science which I was so fond of, because I was so worried that I would fail in Hindi. I spent whole 1 week in Hindi and hire my classmates who were so good in Hindi, request them to please teach me Hindi. They teach me Hindi. Still I failed. Only one time I passed. Only one time I passed. That's also not real pass. It was also failure. How pass was that? It was so lucky. What happened was that the exam finished and the paper already came out. The answer sheet already came out. And luckily, my Hindi teacher was sick. So my class teacher, the main class teacher, she brought the answer sheets and distributed. And I was failure. I failed. And I added the marks. The failed percentages less than 32 and less is failed. And 33 is pass. And I added this up and I got like 36, which is pass, right? Then I went to the teacher. Teacher also added and came 36. Yes, you have passed. And most of the students, the percentage increased. Most of the students increased. And later on, what I discovered was that it is our wrong calculation, because the teacher said, they say question number 1, it has A, B, C, D. 3 sub questions are there, and the first one has, say, the total 1, 2, 3 total together is 5 marks. And the first one, let's say the 3 marks. And the first one is 1 mark, and I got 1. And the 2 and 3 0. So for the first question I got 1. In the set of 3, I got only 1. And then all whatever is up there, the Hindi teacher added up to say, if I score 1, is 1, again 1. And any student scored 2, then the 1 plus 1 added 2. So what we did is that, in my case, 1 up there, 1 down. Actually, it's 1, right? And I added this 2. It becomes 2, right? So from like 20, it shot up to 36. Actually, not 36, actually 26, right? So I passed. So I said this, and the girl was so happy to hear that, right? Even Geshe failed many times. And I said that, don't worry. Even Albaraz also was a dropout. He also failed in mathematics so many times. Don't worry. And she was so happy. Okay, so why said it? Okay, we stop here. Which verse is that? 38. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swadhyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swadhyatam Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Two prostrations.